And then we've got our basket. I'll just show you guys inside here. You see there's actually tape. That's her target. So I actually taught her basket by having her target the target inside, and then we named that basket. And that means, you know, put your head in the basket, and then eventually drop the clothes into the basket. That's what we're doing. Put that there. Everyone see this right here? Yes. Okay. So what we're doing, I've got a shirt and I have a tie, which is actually one of our tug ties. And she actually started with smaller items, which were a lot easier for her. The shirt, you can see, is really floppy. This is actually tied once. I'm going to tie it more to have her do it in just a second. So what I found is with this, she would grab it out and just toss it on the ground and play with it, because it just looked like a big thing to play with. And so she was doing great at pulling it out of the dryer, but she wasn't doing so well putting it into the basket because it was just bulky and everywhere. So I started tying it with smaller knots, and that got a lot easier for her. But I'll have her do the tug tie, I think, first. It's a little bit easier, and then we'll do the shirt. Okay, Ruby. Go this way. Ruby. Get it? Basket. Good.
Woohoo!
So at this point, she has to drop the item into the basket to get the reward. We've been working on this for a little bit. Basket. So she pulls it back out again. I make her put it back. And I also, you know, with this one, I'm looking for her to have a little bit of control because she gets really excited about it, and she does want to just go grab it, and she does want to pull it back out once it's in there, and you know, it's fun. The whole thing's a fun big game for her. But I'm basically using the retrieve, the get it, and I'm combining that with her targeting into the basket. And you know, it's similar to the give, but I'm not actually having to put it in my hands. I'm having to put it into a specific space, which is why I took the basket cue. Sit. Down. So I'm just going to tie this up a little bit more because it's kind of bulky right now. And I'm just going to literally tie knots in it. I want it to be smaller so she can actually grab onto it more easily. Ruby. She's very eager to do this. She's really excited about it. Sit. Get it? Basket.
Nice. Woohoo!
So it took us a little while to get to that. You know, she was doing a lot of pulling it out and then just tossing it on the floor and looking for treats. Or, you know, kind of moving in the direction of the basket, dropping the clothes, and then sticking her head in the basket and looking for the treats. So she was like, you know, I did the basket and I got the clothes out. That means I get the reward, right? So we had to do kind of a connection of you actually have to get that out and put it all the way into the basket first. So that was definitely a shaping process for sure. It took us a few steps. So again.
Did, after you taught basket with a nose target, did you ask her to put items from your hand in the basket? Or
I tried that a little bit. I actually started with a toy because she was having a lot of trouble with the clothes, and I had a toy that was kind of long and had a cloth-like exterior on it, and so she used that. That was the first thing she got into the basket.
And where did it come from?
It just, you know, what happened with the toy actually, it was actually an accident. It happened to be in the room with us when we were practicing, and she grabbed it. And I decided to use it as a reinforcer, and then she dropped it in the basket, and I kind of was like, okay. It looks kind of cloth-like, so let's try that a couple times. And that's actually how she made the connection of basket, was using that exciting thing for her, and then I generalized it to the clothes. But it was just kind of a matter of, this looks similar to clothing. When she was having trouble with the shirt, I brought the tug tie out because it's smaller and it's easier for her to hold. And she'd done tug, so she knew to pull on the tug tie. So I just kind of used a couple things that she already knew and combined them together so that she would have a little easier time. But yeah, now what we're doing is I'm trying to do multiple, you know, item after item a little bit more. I'm trying to start to untie the shirt a little bit more so it's more bulky. And I'll start to, you know, the next thing I want to do with her is take her to the actual dryer in the kennel and have her start, you know, maybe getting in there a little bit and seeing that it's not scary and working on that and trying to pull things out of there.
A lot of it becomes really creative. You can use a small steel trash can so that they're actually, if they're hearing or dropping or the echoes or anything else that's going on, works really well too. And I think you have to take a look, like we talked about, anytime you're finding something that the dog is interested in that you can work with, I think you need to take advantage of that because of some of the things they're going to feel more comfortable being able to do. As long as you're understanding the process and how it gets approximated, but use everything you have around you. And it's like, let's just say the metal wasn't going to work, there's plastic, or vice versa. I just think you just have to be creative and not say, I have to go down that road. Don't put yourself up against the wall.
Yeah. I'll have her do it one more time for you guys here. Ruby. Get it? Basket.
Yeah.
And just a meeting
Get it?
go, and that's
Basket?
all.
I give you all the things.
Try that again. So this is the problem that we have. Sometimes she gets a little too excited. So we have to kind of take a little moment, calm down. You guys have met Ruby. She's very excited about training. She likes doing it a lot. So sometimes we just have to take little play breaks or have to let her calm down for a minute. So in this situation, and if we're doing a real training session, which we kind of are, what I would basically do is just have her do like a down, stay, and just have her wait and be calm for a minute before we try it again. Because she got a little overexcited and just kind of, decided she was going to throw those clothes around a little bit again. So I don't really want her to do that with a person's real clothes, probably. So, Ruby, get it? Basket.
Ooh, doing what?
Good.
And then do you start like moving the basket further away?
You could. I mean, depending on the situation in the home where they wanted to have the basket.
Like in the video, the dog was putting the clothes in the person's hands. Yeah.
You want to put that in the dryer? Ruby, basket. There you go.
And then again, I'm really just asking. I'm not asking this to be funny, but how
Yeah.
do they get the clothes from the washer to the dryer?
Well, if you wanted to teach them the washer, I think they have to have the right setup for one thing. I mean,
Well,
you
that's what I'm
can't-
saying. Is I got
yeah.
a top-loading
You
washer.
can't
Like
really
that's
do it
not
in
going
one
to
day.
happen.
It's not going to be. That's not going to work. But you could teach them. You could start wetting the clothes and seeing if they'll do the wet clothes. I mean, it's going to feel differently
Okay.
in their mouth, but it's possible. I mean, it just kind of depends on how you want to do it. And again, the setup has to be right. You can teach them to tug open the door of the dryer or the washer if they have a front loading. You can attach a tie to it and have them tug it open also. So. Just kind of depends on the situation they have set up. But we do ask when we're asking and matching about behaviors they want that are specialty. If they want laundry behavior, what kind of equipment do you have? Do you have a front loading washer and dryer? Because it does make a big difference, definitely. So, actually, I'll tell you guys. Yesterday we were practicing this, and she left the sleeves out like that. And I rewarded her, and then she went back and pushed the sleeves back into the basket, which I was extremely excited about. That's something she would do right now. She didn't. It was very cute.